What's up, my lovely people, and welcome to another episode of Wait, What? The official Coming Out for Love Season 1 React Show. Today we are going to be reacting to episode 9, I believe. And once again, we are only reacting to the first 15 minutes of the episode. If you would like to see more, go to comingoutforlove.com and use the code SOFIA, all caps, SOFIA, SOFIA, at checkout to get 10% off the bundle. So yeah, without further ado, all right, let's get started. Episode 9.
Her life in the public eye. Her writing ranges from think pieces to satire and has been published in Vanity Fair, McSweeney's, and several other notable publications. Please welcome Caroline Rose Giuliani. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
You guys
She's
look
hot.
amazing.
She's hot. Who is she?
This is what I got to deal with.
I
don't know.
Oh, Jessica's life is so
Caroline,
hard.
it's really interesting. We very rarely have the opportunity to speak to somebody who does come from the situation where they've grown up in the public eye. Based on your parents, they may have preconceived ideas of who you are and what you would be about. But in fact, that's a very, very different story.
What?
Yeah, so I would love to share my coming out story with you.
Please, we would love it.
My journey has been a very drawn out, long...
Wait, Rudy Giuliani's daughter is queer? What? Oh, this is beautiful. This is amazing. Wow. The more you know, guys, the more you know.
And it's still sort of in process, but I was actually in the very privileged position of not fearing telling anybody that I was bisexual, like my friends, family. It really didn't surprise anybody because from the time I was very young, I always found myself in queer communities and really expressed a lot of passion for activism, for queer issues. And so when I told people, they were like, yeah, and at some point I realized that the label bisexuality felt a little bit challenging for me. And even though technically it's not a binary, it's, you know, being attracted to one or more genders, I think people who are not super aware can hear it and think it just means one or the other. So I realized that the label pansexual was better for me because I'm really attracted to people based on their energy and like does not matter what their genitalia look like. If they're beautiful, that's gonna be beautiful to me.
Agreed.
So coming out that with that term confused people a little bit more, and you know, I found a little bit more pushback. I also wanted to come out as somebody who cares about talking about their sexuality and putting it out on the table. And that was a little bit more of a challenge because I was raised to kind of be very guarded and concerned about what you shared publicly, and know that, you know, when you do that, you give people weapons to use against you. I then realized that like my creative life, that the core of it was my sexuality, and I really want to, you know, use my story to help destigmatize these issues. You know, sometimes coming out is a one-time event, and sometimes it's a lifelong event. And for me, I'm still in the process of continually coming out because I'm trying to figure out if I'm polyamorous or monogamous, and I'm in a like very serious period of transition. And so I just want people to understand that it's okay to keep growing and changing. And
we got you.
Yeah. I love that.
I just love that you brought up energy. We should bring energy and spirituality into queer spaces more often because I think that queer people are actually super, super spiritually evolved, all of us. So just thank you for bringing that up.
thank you.
Danae?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I really resonated with the aspect of your talk because I know myself, I started also with bisexual and I also went to pansexual because I had a similar issue as you did. But now I'm not even sure if those fit me anymore, so I switched to queer. And then now I'm wondering even if I'm queer at all, if I'm leaning more towards woman loving woman entirely. and that I've been conditioned to be attracted to men based on society.
Yeah.
So yes, you're always
Compulsive
coming out, and
heterosexuality
even in
is
this
a
video, like, you mentioned this
thing.
earlier, you say my wife or my girlfriend in a workspace, in a coffee shop, and anywhere, you're coming out every day in little moments.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's such an evolution, and I think if you try to, like, you know, cut it off, you close yourself off to so many connections, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think life is about, hopefully, is about evolving, right? Like, you know, you have your core essence, but then the more we're exposed to, the more we learn, the more people we meet, the places we travel, books we read, all of those things. You know, I want to be touched and changed by these lessons as I move through life. I don't want to feel as though I am the same at, you know, 25 as I will be at 50. I'm not either of those ages.
Sure, you're not 25.
You know.
Yeah, no.
Ghana, I saw that
I
you
love
had
Jess.
something to share.
Hi, I'm Ghana.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Ghana!
So I haven't come out yet, and I'm about to do that. I'm about to do that on the show. pretty soon.
Badass.
And I'm
Okay, so
excited. I'm
peep
scared
Ghana. Where is her
by
hand?
A bunch of
It's on
things.
Erica's lap. I'm
And I
just
just wanna ask
saying.
you,
I'm just
What did
saying.
you feel the first minute you came out to the world? How did you feel yourself? I just wanna get prepared.
Honestly, for me, I felt so celebrated, and I was very lucky to have that experience, you know. And I think the more you know, express yourself, the more you find your people. So I think it's really brave and awesome that you're doing that, and congratulations.
Well, and that's the beauty of the chosen family, right? That in our community, we have that opportunity. It's something that came from necessity, that came from isolation and alienation, but has become this tremendous gift that we're able to share with our, you know, kin, and it just sort of welcome other people into the concept and realize like how beautiful and how freeing it is to create a family where you are loved unconditionally for exactly who you are in that moment. What has been your experience as you've gone through this journey, this evolution between sort of the different sort of presentations of women who love women? Because obviously we have sort of the ones that everyone's heard of, like the butch and the femme, and you know, and we say different things: masculine presenting, more feminine presenting,
Stim.
high femme, STEM, yes, STEM, all of them. How has your journey through that sort of complexity of our community? How has that been for you?
Even when I thought I was straight, like, someone's appearance never really affected me. And I know that sounds like crazy, but like, I was once like, there was this man who I found very ugly initially, and then I got to know him and I fell like deeply in love with him and found him to be like the most beautiful person. So
That's love.
So yeah, for me, but it doesn't really match up with like a lot of
feel
other people's
that.
experiences. So the fluidity of those like being able to, for me, present myself in as different versions of myself is like a very freeing thing about the queer space. What about you guys?
Yes, Lotus.
It is freeing, but also right now, personally, like for me, I'm also going through a struggle where before I thought I had to dress super, super femme in order to get other femmes to be attracted to me, because growing up, looking at the screen, all I saw was white on white or brunette on brunette, blonde on blonde. So for me, I'm just like, I have to be super femme so that at least someone will be attracted to
Wow,
me.
that's like totally the
now,
opposite of what I,
Navigating through my life,
internalize and
I
think.
dress as Lotus. And you're gonna love Lotus, you're gonna love Lotus, sometimes in lingerie, or I'm going to sag my pants, and you're gonna love me regardless.
Yeah. The people I'm most
Yeah.
attracted to are definitely the ones who are expressing themselves most authentically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen. Same.
And I can piggyback off that, like blocking out like predatory me, because I mean, I acknowledge my beauty. However, I don't want that for me. You know, that energy for me. I can pop my shit when I damn please.
Yeah.
Different. You also spoke about like monogamy and polygamy and stuff like that. I was definitely like gung ho about like not believing monogamy at all, because I never seen it. never witnessed it. And so it's like, how can this person only love me and only see me?
Amber, I know that that's a journey, that has been a journey for you, and in your own coming out story as well. Would you mind sharing a little bit of that?
Yeah, my coming out story was almost 9 years ago on the internet. Yeah, I was feminine because I was a basketball player, and I felt like everybody kept labeling me as a lesbian, but I wasn't even sure of myself yet. So I dressed feminine so then I didn't have to be that stereotype. And then I was like, wait, but I'm not getting girls that I am attracted to, right? So then, at nighttime, I would like literally kind of sneak out almost and like sag my pants a little bit, still had like a BB tank top on, but had the hat backwards. And I called myself a STEM. And then like I started talking about that on the internet. I was like, I'm not a stud or a femme, I'm a STEM. And I was like, I'm doing this and I don't care what anybody else thinks, but femmes didn't know what to do with me, and studs wanted to fight me. Yeah, and so eventually, the more comfortable I became with myself and understood like the community, because I had no education before, the more that I dedicated myself to creating videos to help other people go through that journey and make it easier for them than it was for me.
And here you are today.
Yeah.
It's so
you
complex
for
how we
being
decide
our
to present
first,
ourselves in this
lead
community
into
as
this,
opposed to like
groundbreaking show.
living in a heteronormative society, you know?
I love to get salacious personally. So I would love to have a conversation about how these identities impact what actually happens in the bedroom and communication around that. I recently had an experience where I was with my first trans woman, and I was super nervous because I didn't know what she would want, and she was just amazing. She actually had a copy and paste thing that she sends to people that, she's considering sleeping with, about like where she likes to be touched and terms she likes to use.
I love
and
that
so
for
I love
communication.
that.
Should we all do that?
Yeah.
Yes, you always have to have a conversation first.
Yeah,
I know this.
absolutely.
Touch me in the eye. Hey, don't touch me in this area.
Yeah.
Whether you like penetration or not, etc.
A partner who makes me feel safe. I would get
Right.
my needs. But if not, I'm dumb and all.
I always find that for women that present more as masc, in the outside world, there's often an expectation or femmes often think that means that they want to be sort of masculine in the bedroom,
And strap on them. Or
yeah,
something,
exactly. Like they like, for example, they're only going to enjoy sex in the way that a straight male would, or and I find that really damaging actually to the community, because we are all women who self-identify as women that love women, and so however we dress or our presentation, yes, consent is important, communication, understanding, but also like there's no sort of preordained way that you have to enjoy sex and intimacy because of how you choose to present yourself. I'm considered a very feminine woman, but I have a very strong personality and I've always been very sexual. And so within that framework, am more than happy to, people always talk about, well, are you top, or are you bottom, or are you this, or are you that? And that's so reductive, I find, because we're capable of so much more than that,
And you don't know if you don't try things.
You don't know, and also it can change day to day and partner to partner.
Yes.
Women that present as masc, they may not have formed the most positive relationships with their own bodies because they're expected to kind of, walk a certain way and hold themselves a certain way, and so there's often a disassociation to, breasts or, things like that. And that can also be a beautiful journey in people's intimacy. And I use the word intimacy versus sex because while sex is amazing, I think one of the most special things about being in a loving woman relationship is the level of intimacy that it is possible to build between you, That level of trust, that skin-on-skin contact, you know what I mean? All of these things that build up until.
I recently had a situation where I tend to be...
All right, we are going to leave it right there. With that being said, all right, good job, Jess. Mic drop. All right. We're going to leave it right there because we are 15 minutes in. And if you want to see the rest, you're going to have to go to comingoutforlove.com and order the bundle, or I think you can also order a single episodes and stuff like that. So that was episode 9 of Coming Out for Love season 1. Go to comingoutforlove.com and use the code Sophia at checkout to get 10% off. Alrighty. Love you. Everybody have a good week. Bye-bye.